Moot.
Take any calls. What's different now, today, than it was the last time we talked to you? Give us something good we can chew on.
There's less of you here. How's that?
You're always clever. You always gotta come up with something clever.
Bob's moved back a row. I mean,
Yeah.
that's different.
What about your team? It's doing pretty good about it, ready to go. I'm sure you're ready to play games.
We're getting there. We're getting there. What do I say? I think we are progressing. We've just we got to guard better. We don't rebound it the way we need to rebound it yet, the way we should be capable of rebounding with the personnel we have. And we throw it around too much. But I guess that probably happens this time of year when you have a whole bunch of new guys. You know, I think when you have veteran guys, that doesn't happen as much. But whenever you have one guy thinking he was supposed to go right and we throw it left, it's going to take some time for everybody to kind of mesh.
How much time do you put into offense right now? I know you work defense. I know there's things you have to do. Where is that at right now in your equation as you get ready to the opener?
It's the whole time. I mean, because when somebody's playing defense, someone's playing offense. So it's virtually 3 hours. It's 3 hours of both. We're either working on one or the other, and you're either playing defense or you're playing offense. So
you said defense needs improved rebounding, but can you guys be good in those areas, you think, in time?
I thought going in we would be a very good rebounding team. We're not near there yet, but I think we can get there. We're not shooting the ball as well as I thought or had hoped we would shoot the ball, but I think that'll come too. I think it's a matter of, sometimes it's should I take it, shouldn't I take it, I think it's just getting comfortable and knowing their teammates. I think that has a lot to do with it.
How's the ball moving? I know last year you were times where you were
Moves a lot, John. It just generally it doesn't go where it's supposed to, but
ball moving
by God, it's moving though. I can say that's a definite yes. It's moving. Yeah, somebody.
Well, last year it stuck a lot of times in certain places. And
Yeah, it's not going to stick.
Well, talking to your players, all of them seem to have bought in very well on I'm not an individual, we're in this together, and have taken something from last year, even the ones that weren't here last year. How have you guys got that across and done that?
Well, we tried obviously to make a concerted effort to recruit guys that wanted to win. And honestly, we've got some guys who they didn't win where they were either. So I think they walked in here with a bad taste in their mouth, and obviously the guys that were here certainly feel that way. And I think a fresh start kind of has helped all of them. It's we relied on a bunch of guys a year ago that now these guys are kind of taking over. They're kind of the guys that people are relying on because they're the guys that have the experience. So I think that's given them an impetus to try harder, to try to be more assertive.
Basketball's always come to me as a creative, individual type game, even in a team structure. That it would be harder to, especially you see it at the pro level, of course, be harder to mold it into, I'm doing this for the team rather than for myself. Is that fair to say? And does that bother some teams?
You know, Bob, honestly, I really haven't experienced that very much. You know, I mean, I've had, well, I had the first pick in the draft. I think he was the third pick in the draft, and whatever he was, 12th or 13th pick in the draft, and then two other guys in the second round, and they love playing with each other, and they love playing together, and nobody really, I mean, you could never say one guy really tried to outdo, you know, another guy, you know. So I mean, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have guys that wanted to win, and we've tried to make a conscious effort to recruit guys that want to win. But I mean, even when I had guys that you would think that from the outside that they would all be wanting their own, we really never really had that. And there were times when we had guys that scored a lot more, you know, but the guys we had, you know, when I had Logan, I mean, but everybody wanted him to shoot. He made them. So I've never had to go through that. I've been through a lot, but I've never had to go through that.
The group of freshmen last year, the sophomores now, obviously, do you see anything unique with them as a collective bunch, and that they seem to have wanted to stick it out, be with each other, work together, you know, that kind of stuff? Obviously, it could have gone the other way. I mean,
Well, not if you're a competitor. I mean, I think if you're a competitor, I think you're going to go that direction. You're going to go the direction of, hey, let's fix this. Let's don't do what happened before. Let's make something special. And I think they've done that. I mean, if you watch practice, those guys are guys that are always in the front of the line. They're always guys that are kind of stand out with their competitiveness. I mean, Seth, Kobe, you know, that are two of our guys that have been around, you know, a little bit, but they both come from great programs. You know, they both were successful in high school. They want to be successful.
do you still see that group as young kids, or?
No, not anymore.
Right.
No. We've got some young kids, but certainly those guys aren't.
You hit the reset button a couple times in your career. I can remember here you did it in 15, doing it again, done it a few times at Cincinnati. Does it reinvigorate you a little bit? Does it give you a little bit of a boost to hit the reset button and maybe do things a little bit differently than you did?
I'm trying to think how I say this, Bob, without cursing. No, I mean, I was ticked off. What's that? Yeah. I would,
Like you were 13?
yeah, pretty much. Probably worse.
Yeah.
Probably worse. You just have such a bad taste in your mouth, you know, and John, I understand more than I think the majority of people do that how important it is. How important it is that we're successful. What it means to the people, to our fans, to the people in the state. I know how proud they are when we're, you know, going to the Final Four and seeing our people and beating Ohio State and Cleveland and seeing our people walking down the street, you know, with their head high, happy, you know, kind of. It makes you feel good. Makes you feel good that you can add a little bit of joy to their lives, to their fun, fun to, whether you're watching on TV, you come to the Coliseum, or you listen to it on the radio. I was one of those little kids sitting on my grandfather's lap, listening when Rod Thorne played. And that was, you look forward to it. You look forward to game time. My mom was always, like trying to get me to take a bath, so I'd already have my bath in, so I wouldn't be fighting with her about sitting on my grandfather's lap and listening to the game. And I think there's a lot of that, man. So I understand how much it means.
Was the goal to get a group of guys that would be as mad as you were when you lost games? Was that kind of the thing you were looking for?
They don't make those. They don't make any of those.
At least attempt to be.
Yeah, but they don't. I've had a few, but not very many that rival that.
But the competitors are.
We are much more competitive. Yes, we are much more competitive.
What about redshirting anybody this year?
No, not really. I haven't got to that point. We're still trying to. We got some freshmen playing pretty good. I mean, if you paid attention to the exhibition game, 22 is pretty good. I mean, he makes shots, he's active, he rebounds, and he's what, 17 years old? No, I want to play the best guys. I want to play the guys that's going to help us win.
So it's hard to play 14, 15, but how deep do you think the rotation is Monday?
We'll play a lot of guys Monday. I mean, I think when it gets harder, we're not going to play that many people. But you never know, man. You never know what's going on. You never know who catches the flu, who sprains an ankle, we've had so many guys get hurt over the last however many years that you gotta have backup people.
Anything new with Trey Mitchell and Pat Sumner?
No, not really. They're doing more, but they haven't really been out in a 5-on-5 situation, but they're doing a lot more. They're doing more than the normal ice and stem that Doc works with. He's got them out on the floor doing some things.
I need some ice and stuff.
Yeah, it must be outstanding. I mean, Doc's done it for how many years, Mess? 35 years of ice and stem. You got to be damn good at it after 35 years now.
How much work do they have to get in? What's a timeline like for them so they can actually get into games and help you? Is there a amount of practices, some type of fitness level?
Just who's gonna play the best?
I mean, those two guys who haven't.
Those two?
Once they actually do get back out.
I don't know. That's all. That's up to the trainers. I mean, we have a doctor there every day watching them. So it's up to the doctors and Doc Metter, really.
When you actually have them on the court, though, you want to practice for a while. Would you have them play a little bit longer in I don't know, scrimmage exhibition situations?
They're doing a lot of shooting, and that kind of thing on the side, Mike. But they're, in terms of playing, I don't know how quickly they'll pick things up. I don't know what they do when we put them in situations. All they've done really is for a long time. All they did was stand there, shoot free throws, and now they've got them moving and they're shooting shots off the move, but I don't. I wish I knew. I don't know. I know that the ball goes in a whole lot more watching them shoot it on the side than it does those guys we have out on the floor, if that helps you any.
Something else you may not know about, it's just a report, who knows what happens, but when you see something like Gonzaga being in talks with the Big 12, just chatting, but tough conference already. That would be a bigger bite, I guess.
I would think it would be a tremendous awakening for Gonzaga. To get in this league and play what we play day after day. I think it would be a tremendous. You don't get to make the Well, Huey deserves it. So.
Coach, you were talking about bad taste in the mouth from last year. Does that add anything now then to this first game that, you know, it's a new season, a new step in the direction you want to go in?
No, Justin, I've never looked at it that way. I want us to get better.
Right.
You know, I want us to improve on the things that we're not doing well, and we've got to start taking better care of the ball. For one, we've got to do a better job rebounding offensively. There's things that obviously we've got to do a whole lot better. And if the guys that we have out there aren't doing it, then we need to get somebody else in the game who will. But you know, I don't. No, I'm really concentrating on trying to get these guys ready to go because we're going to play the hardest schedule in school history. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So we've got to get ready to go win games.
And I'm kind of curious about basically like 9 new guys, 10. I mean, a lot of new guys coming in, a few guys coming back. So that's a lot of mixing and matching with kids who don't know each other. But from talking to them so far, it seems like chemistry is really, really good between them all. And I'm wondering if you were ever worried about chemistry not being good, with bringing in new faces, and did you play a part in helping the chemistry work out? I mean, how does that all?
Sometimes subtraction is better than addition. And so hopefully we have filled spots when guys have left that will be better than the ones that left. That's the hope. That's not a knock on anybody. That's the hope.
What about roles? I know you're really good teams. Guys have had embraced their roles. Do you see a willingness among these guys to do that?
Yeah, I think our older guys have done a great job to this point. Kitty's done a great job. I think Joe's kind of a natural leader. We got a guy who's been to more schools than I have, and so he's been around a lot of different coaches, been around a lot of things. He's trying like crazy to be a leader. He wants to win. This is it. This is his last stop. So, yeah, I mean, I think we have guys that will be. They'll help the younger guys when they need help.
Not everybody can score. You don't want everybody to score.
Well, yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind if everybody scores. You know, it's not bad to have some balance.
Somebody's got to screen. Somebody's got to pass it. Somebody's got to defend.
Yeah, I think they're all willing. I think everything you said they're all willing to do.
Well, when this offense gets going, what will it do well? Transition, perimeter? What will be the strength of the offense?
You know, that's hard to say right now. We don't have really our full complement. I mean, we're hoping that Pat and Trey really help shore up our rebounding. We're hoping that those guys can score it close for us. You've seen us play a couple times. We have a hard time finishing around the goal. And I've told those guys, I mean, if you can't make a 1-footer, it's hard to play you. And we're playing them now a bunch, trying to get them better because they do a lot of other things very well. They just don't finish around the rim, and they've got to be able to do that. I think those other two guys certainly can do that. So we got to keep working with, and they are getting better. They are getting better. They were probably had their best practice yesterday.
How do you slow them down around the rim?
I don't want to slow them down. I want the damn thing to go in.
Well, I hear that a lot. I hear coaches say slow down and look at the rim and collect yourself and don't hurry. One of the greatest coaches of all time said, don't be in a hurry.
He also had the best players in the world.
I understand. I understand.
What are you going to tell Kareem? Slow down, Kareem.
Yeah.
Bill, hey Bill, slow down a little bit there. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah, come on. When you have the best players in the world, you can say a lot of things. You can be a heck of a coach. The best players in the world.
You, obviously what you have on Monday can look, because of injuries, and I know you can't talk about the one kid because he hasn't signed it, but he'll obviously come into the equation at some point. So what you have in January could look a heck of a lot different than what you'll have to start the season. So is that consoling? Is that a concern?
No, not at all. No, they all knew what they were getting when they came here. They all knew what they were getting. They all knew they were going to have to be competitive to play. I think they're all, Justin, believe it or not, relishing the opportunity to be competitive. I don't think there's anybody on our team that plays any harder than Seth does or Kobe does. Our guys have been, they've been good. They've been really good. They've been really competitive, which is part of the reason we throw it around so much. Because we're not, standing there trying to help some guy look good. We're standing there trying to make him look bad so they can look good. So I think that's a very healthy atmosphere. And they all understand. They all understand they got to do what they got to do to play. They understand that. I've never lied to them or tried to trick them or whatever. It is what it is. And in hindsight, I probably played guys I shouldn't have played a year ago. That a lot of people would have said, "Why don't you play him? Because he can make a shot." Well, yeah, he does, but his man's making a hell of a lot more than he is. So it's this group is. I don't want to say easy to coach, but they're easier to coach because they're competitive. We've got freshmen that have come in here who are very competitive. They're not taking a back seat to people. They are just from a lack of knowledge at this point, but certainly not a lack of effort or ability.
One more on the conference thing, if you don't mind. The football drives last time, obviously, but your conference added good basketball programs, and I don't know if it's done or if anybody thinks it's done, but it seems like bigger is the way conferences want to go. As a basketball coach in a league where basketball is very successful, do you like fears or concerns or even aspirations about what it may look like if the shifting continues and if growth continues and all of a sudden you're playing games out in Spokane on a Tuesday night? Just seems like it could go in any direction, and I'm not sure how much say you have or people like you can have.
I don't think we have any. I don't think we have any say whatsoever. It's the presidents and the commissioner. I guess the ADs to a degree, but I don't know that they don't have the say that the presidents have. We don't certainly don't have the say that the ADs have. So, what Mike, in a lot of ways, it's kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting to be able to go play like real people. I mean, I'm not. Some of the games that we play are not very exciting. Not very exciting to get ready for. But we have to play them. Right? You have to play them.
So the presidents, though, getting back at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Generally, they don't. No.
That's what I'm saying.
No. Generally they don't, and generally they're on that charter plane well before we're on ours. Yeah.
Is there like an ideal, whether it's a number of conference games or how many teams are in a conference or how many times you travel? You ever kick those things around?
I look around obviously at what's going on, but is the Big Ten the Big Ten anymore? I don't think so. I don't think it's the Big Ten anymore. Or all the conferences, the SEC isn't the SEC anymore. The ACC certainly isn't the ACC anymore. I was watching a prep school team practice, and one of the more famous coaches in the ACC came up and sat down beside me. He said, "Well, partner, we're going to be playing twice a year now." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "No, you're coming in our league." And for a while, everybody thought we were. And then, somebody else tried to get in and bargain their way in, and, it's back and forth. And at the end of the day, we didn't end up in the ACC. Somebody else did. But, I mean, he thought it was 100% done. I don't know. After going through that whole ordeal, I don't worry about it anymore. I don't think about it anymore.
Must have been talking to his AD and not the president, huh?
No, actually, he was talking to the conference commissioner,
There you go.
who didn't know. Obviously, he didn't know. So,
This commissioner, the one in the Big 12, is talking about a national league.
mhm.
Is that a good idea? I mean,
Bob, I don't know anymore. I know our current commissioner is full of energy. He's excited about the opportunity, and he thinks that this league can do and be something very, very special. And I hope he's right. I mean, I hope he's right. I know he has unbridled enthusiasm. I was with him in New York. I mean, he's a go-getter now, and he knows a lot of people. He's been through it not in a basketball sense, but in other ways to build, a more competitive, more I don't know, television worthy maybe deal. And I think that's good. I think it's good for our fan base. It's just different. It's not. I was thinking the other day, for some reason. I know why. I was watching Pitt. That's why I was thinking about the Big East. But it's good and bad. I mean, it's good and bad. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was great for the fans to be able to drive. I also think it's great for the fans to be able for us to play, different, and this league is going to be an absolutely incredible league when the commissioner gets done with it. So,
You like that he has some basketball background with the Nets and so forth?
I would like that. Anybody would have a basketball background that's running a basketball league. This is going to be even more a basketball league with what's going on. There's no doubt about that. That football driving the train thing is that train's slowing down, and the basketball thing is just kicking up. I mean, when you talk about, somebody says something about Gonzaga coming in the league. Come on, the basketball part of it, you can go. I think he can go lure, the best. I mean, that makes it pretty exciting. Looks like the football thing is going away from the league, not going to the league. Would you think that? Well, you're afraid to talk about it.
I'm thinking about the marketing thing.
Afraid to talk about it.
Your basketball marketing acumen, that's what popped into my head.
Well, what I'm saying is, you're looking at a whole bunch of football people moving to different leagues, in leagues that are going to bring more money. Quite frankly, the school's going to get more money. That's what it's about. So, you're allowed to say that, John.
Say a lot. Right? Doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'll get murdered for saying it, but I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
It's all good.
Hey, man, do it in Cincinnati one time. Have Bill Cunningham, 38 states in Canada, just blowing you up.
Coach, thank you.
Yes, sir.